Hey, happy Chinese New Year, what's up? And today I'm gonna be doing my first album review of February 2019, and that would go to the self-titled debut album from LCD Soundsystem. So, if you don't know who they are a New York electropop dance post-punk band, and I guess you could say that they are a supergroup because they have a lot of members, but the band is fronted by James Murphy, who you may know for a lot of the tracks being produced by him. He's a really funny guy. And yeah, originally I wasn't gonna review this album, but after repeated listens, I think this album has some really good songs on it. And yeah, most of all, I think LCD Soundsystem is really well known for their very versatile beats, percussions, and they usually bring a lot of different textures and flavors with it. And LCD Soundsystem's music is also littered with catchy rhythms and catchy flows. We have James Murphy's very energetic, lively performances with some witty but also very funny and smart lyrics commenting on the society. And yeah, LCD Soundsystem is a special band that I have came across, I guess, I think 3 years ago around that time, and I was just really happy that I found them. The album starts off with Daft Punk is playing at my house, bam, 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 and yeah, I was actually thinking if I should, put like song clips in this. Maybe I will, maybe not, who knows, because if I put song clips on this review, maybe they're gonna copyright claim my video. I'm gonna try to do that, but if it doesn't work, then I will remove all the song clips. Well, anyway, this song is a very awesome opener for their self-titled debut. It has a very fun, exciting guitar line. Even though it's a little repetitive, a little stiff, it's still very fun, exciting, and danceable. We have James Murphy on the vocals, and his performance is very lively and very catchy, and he just brings a lot of energy to the track. We gotta set him up, whoa, whoa, yeah, we gotta set him up. Then we have the second track, Too Much Love, with the very skippy, almost robotic drum beat with James Murphy almost whispering in front of the mic, whispering very intimately and in a very monotone fashion, but his flow is extremely catchy. What will I do when I wake up? And I think the track really grows on you. It doesn't really work out for me on the first listen, but it really, really grows on me, and I enjoy it. And I also really like the sound effects they added in on the track. They're like subway trains creaking. They're sort of like, I don't know how to do that sound with my mouth and throat, but you kind of get the idea. So I'm giving this track an 8 out of 10, and I'm also giving Daft Punk is Playing at My House a 10 out of 10. And then we have the Tribulations, which is an underrated classic track from LCD Soundsystem. I really love the plastic, wobbly synths and the sweet keyboards that's added on top of the synths. And we get these extremely catchy chords and melodies. And they even added a bit of a reverb vibe on the vocals to make it even more disco-y and danceable. And yeah, the hook, the bridges, the choruses on this track, they are all very, very solid. And I just love how this track is so catchy, but there are a few moments on this track where it feels kind of tedious, thus even more funny of a track. And there are also some moments where this track feels dreamy and kaleidoscopic almost. It's a weird but very fun and danceable and catchy track that just has so much color mixed inside it. And I just love this track so much. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 as well. And the next track, Movement, is also a very awesome track. Yeah, we get these aggressive clapping beats at first, and with James Murphy popping in, almost rapping, and the lyrics mainly deal with, musical movements and how they come to be, but James Murphy talk about them with these very funny and witty metaphors, and I love the lyrics on this track. And then about a minute in, the song just explodes into this very loud and fun and exciting alt-rock banger. It's fiery, it's flaming, it's super exciting, and another 10 out of 10. Then we have Never As Tired As I'm Waking Up, which is almost the exact opposite of the previous track, Movement, because it's really soft, sweet, and dreamy. It's a very soft guitar ballad. It sounds like the Beatles, and specifically the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. But still, I like the track. And after the first listen, I wasn't too impressed by the track, but after repeated listens, this song just, I don't know, plays in my head repeatedly. And it's a pretty magical track. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. And then we have On Repeat, which has some repetitive keys. Bing, bing, boo-doo. Bing, bing, boo-doo. And this track is like around 8 minutes long. It's pretty long-winded. Yeah, I don't think the track is spectacular or anything. It does feel a little repetitive and redundant after a while. And even though at the end of the track it sort of builds up to a climax, but still, the track is not doing that well for me. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. But I guess what's even more underwhelming would be the next track, Thrills, which is my least favorite track on the album. We get these skippy, chopped up ping pong beats, and I mean, I do like the texture of the beats. They are very creatively produced. But other than that, we also get these occasional shots of static noises. But still, it's a pretty boring track, not gonna lie. Even though it's just basically a little experimental track, but it's still not that spectacular, not that fun or exciting or anything. Feeling a 6 out of 10. I'm kind of feeling a 6 out of 10 for this track. But the album sort of picks itself back up on the track Disco Infiltrator. And yeah, first of all, we get these very fun, tight, on-point beats. And the track doesn't really have melodies, but we have James Murphy half rapping, half singing on the vocals. Most of the time he's just rapping, but occasionally we get these vocal harmonies, these acapellas, sections, and they're pretty weird, pretty fun, and I weirdly enjoy it. Actually, I think it's a pretty nice track, and it's definitely ahead of its time, because it's 2005 when this album is released. And around 2005, the music industry is sort of between indie alt rock and mainstream pop music. Well, more on the pop than the rock, but still, not Radiohead, LCD Soundsystem doing this kind of stuff is sort of ahead of its time, and I really appreciate that. I'm feeling an 8 out of 10. And then we have the last track on disc 1. Yes, it's a double album. Great release. And I'm also pretty underwhelmed by this track, however, because this track is around 8 minutes long, yet a bulk of the track sounds like nothing is happening. Well, we get these faint drops and droops of percussions at first, and they sound like they're being recorded in a cave from a far distance. and then they very, very, very slowly build up to a very warm and sweet and explosive climax, like a sunrise of some sorts. But even though I like the atmosphere and the mood that comes along with the track, I just can't help but be bored by the track. And yeah, I'm going to be generous and I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. And then we move on to disc 2, starting off with Losing My Edge. And yeah, starting off disc 2 very, very strongly, we have an 8-minute long spoken word track. But surprisingly, it's very entertaining. It's probably my favorite spoken word track ever. It's a spoken word track, but backed up by these very simple skippy drum beats and these cool, rough, skippy bass lines. And yeah, I don't know why. It's 8 minutes of James Murphy talking, but it sounds like he's descending into insanity in the duration of the track. It's actually really, really fun. And on the track, James Murphy sort of comments on him losing his edge, like back in the days, back in the 90s, back when he was young, he was the cool hip guy who plays Daft Punk in a rock bar or something to the kids. And back in the days, he has all these records, all these like the Sonics, Swans, Joy Division, just to name a few, Slits, Faust. He named a bunch of bands in the song, and he also claimed that he told Captain Beefheart that he's not gonna make a dime with the music that he's making, and I suspect he's joking, but it's a really funny one, not gonna lie, And he said he was there in 1968 on the first Can show in Cologne, and all these things that made him hip before, but now he's losing his edge because now with the internet being introduced, a lot of musical artists, underground indie musical artists, are becoming even more experimental, even more avant-garde, and now he's just losing his edge, and so he's sort of in between. But yet, I can't help but to appreciate the way he puts out this idea of losing his edge in the song. And the music video attached to the song is brilliant. We see James Murphy getting slapped in the face like for 8 minutes, and it's a funny one. A 10 out of 10 for sure. And then we have a Beat Connection. Oh, my nose is itching so much, I don't know why. Anyway, the second track is Beat Connection, and it is another really, really fun and exciting danceable disco track. It has a very fast-paced disco beat, and the drumming is really crazy on this track. And we also get a lot of cowbells on the track as well, which spices up the track a lot. And it's a very, very catchy track. And at first James Murphy is not on the track. On the first half of the track, it's all just the beats and the percussions, the cowbells. But after the halfway point, James Murphy hops in and he sort of starts to half rapping. And on this track, James Murphy talks about, boring, empty, meaningless nights in the USA. And it's actually pretty funny because the lyrics are actually pretty sad in a funny way, but the beat is very exciting and danceable. It's the saddest night out in the USA. And I'm also giving this track a 10 out of 10. Damn. Why is my family so eager to interrupt my reviews? Please stop. I know it's Chinese New Year Day, but give me a break. Okay, anyway, the next track is called Give It Up, and it's kind of similar to the previous track, except we have this very fun, wacky, ascending bass, and it sounds like it came straight out of a game TV show, like a like one of those Family Feud type of TV show, perhaps. I don't know. And I also really like the beat. It's really fun and watery and smooth. It's another really danceable and fun disco pop track. A 9 out of 10. And then we have Tired, which is an oddball in the track list because it is the shortest song on the entire record and it sounds the most different. Basically, the band is trying to make a hard rock song, almost a metal, with the loud, thunderous riffs, but except it sounds like it's recorded in a cave as well. It sounds like they're playing a live show in some venue, but the song is recorded outside of the venue. It's like something's going through a filter, like it's muffled or something. But at the same time, it has a very organic and raw vibe to it. I'm feeling a 7 to an 8 out of 10 for the track. And then we have Yeah, which is actually 2 tracks. The first one is the Crass version, and it's 9 minutes long. And the second one is the Pretentious mix, and it's 11 minutes long. And together they're 20 minutes long. 20 minutes of Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty insane. And not gonna lie, the track is pretty fun. We have the tight beats and the groovy bass. And we also get these eerie pianos, which sound pretty out of place. Maybe they're maybe it's a little too loud of the pianos. Maybe they should tune it down a couple notches, maybe. But anyway, it's a really fun track. Yeah, that is. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's really dumb, but also really fun. And halfway on the first track, the track becomes very busy and bustly, and it has all these house influences. These wobbly, rough synths, and these occasional bleeps and bloops. Yeah, it's awesome. And then we have the Pretentious mix, which is even crazier. It's like an extended version of Yeah, Crass version, but it's way more, I guess, rich and colorful and full of textures. They incorporate a lot of keys and synths. And there are a lot of different sections to the track. A section of the track sounds like it came straight out of the 80s. Another section features these keys that sound like organs. And another section of the track has all these messy percussions, and then at the last section, it's all bleeps and bloops, and then at the end, it's all mixed together. It's crazy. But then, the album truly ends off with Your City's a Sucker, which has a very slow, groovy bass and some slow beats. Surprisingly. And it kind of sounds like David Byrne and Brian Eno's track, Regiment. A little bit, I guess. And the track sort of has this sneaky, edgy flavor to it, which I really like. And the lyrics, they're kind of simple, but they sort of say a lot about New York City. And, your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. Or we have what we want is ha 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 ha. I don't know what that means, but it probably doesn't really have a meaning. And at the halfway point, we also get a shot of vocal harmonies, which feels very random, but also pretty funny, I guess. You could say that. And I'm also giving the track a 9 out of 10. Overall, it's a pretty satisfying album with a few flaws. LCD Soundsystem really developed a very special and unique and distinct sound amongst their rock, pop, contemporaries. I think this album is an ambitious debut album, and it worked pretty well. Not gonna lie, I'm saying my favorite track here is Tribulations, and my least favorite is Thrills. And I'm giving LCD Soundsystem's self-titled debut album an 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to LCD Soundsystem's self-titled debut? From 1 to 10, how much would you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. And I gotta go.